So, welcome back. Today we're going to make some sweet and sour pork. Outside, I'm doing it on the porch with my butane stove because the weather is unpredictable outside in the sunlight. So, I want to show you what I'm doing. I am quickly frying up my pork. I went to the store and I got little pieces of pork. I think it was 3/4 of a pound of pork. If you don't want to buy it, you can take a pork chop and slice it up. Some country rib, pork meat, cut it up. Some belly meat, cut it up. Any kind of meat will do. I dredged it in flour, just shook it around in some flour. And now I'm frying them up nice and golden brown. Those are already fried up because it takes about 5 minutes to fry. So you can kind of see maybe the goldenness it is. I'm going to call that good. We're going to drain off the pork. One nice thing about butane stoves, they turn on and off really easy. So now I'm taking off the pork out of oil, and then we're going to make the sauce. So I'll come back in a minute and make the sauce. I'm back. I went and took the oil out of my pan. I put this grill on the butane stove because my pot was a little bit small and it kept trying to slide off and I didn't want it to fall during production. So I'm just going to go with it this way. So now take my pot, turn my heat on, some kind of a medium heat. I have a little bit of soy sauce, maybe a tablespoon soy sauce, tablespoon of ketchup, 3 tablespoons of vinegar, about 1/3 of a cup of pineapple juice. And I'm just gonna put that all in the pot. To that, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And I'm gonna just cook this down for a couple of minutes until the sugar is all dissolved. So it'll take a minute and we'll just wait here. Maybe we'll nibble on a piece of pork while we're waiting. Nice and crispy. I'll change stirring to my wooden spoon. This sauce. Oh, I have a little bit of 5 spice in here also. Probably 1/4 of a teaspoon. You can go a little heavier if you'd like. I did. But since you're not going to be here to taste it, this just makes a nice sour, sweet and sour sauce to go with our food we're going to cook. Simmer it up. Simmer it for a couple of minutes. My ketchup is not dissolving. It will in a minute. Oh, it's getting too hot. It's boiling, but we don't want to kill it. I see that it's boiling up. Kind of reducing it down. Might take a minute or two. Don't want to reduce it too far. But that smells so good. So I'm gonna need some place to put this to cool down because it's gonna be hot when I take it off the grill. So it's been about a minute. We'll go a little bit longer. Want those flavors all to incorporate really well. Okay, I think that's well enough. Now I have a couple of teaspoons of cornstarch and a couple of tablespoons of water. And look at that. Not dissolving. You gotta dissolve that down a little bit. Okay. Alright. Let that dissolve down. So now I'm just gonna add it to my sauce just to thicken it just a little bit. Bring it back up to heat. Let it cook for just a minute. Turn the heat off. Nice and thick and yummy, okay? I'm gonna set it off to the side. We'll come back to that in a little bit. So, now we're gonna start on the main dish. I'll come back in a minute. Back to sweet and sour pork. I've got a big skillet. I got a couple of tablespoons of oil in here. And I got it up on high for right now as I want to start getting heat and I want to start cooking things. So you want to cook in the order of it takes the time to cook it, but we don't want, in a sweet and sour, we don't want it to be really soft and soggy, and we don't want the food to be breaking apart. So we're going to start with our onions. It's about a half an onion, just in big pieces. And green peppers, just chop them up. You can use red and yellow and make all sorts of colors. I just use the green, mainly because of cost, but also because to me they're all close to the same. Some people might be say there's a lot of flavor difference, but for what I'm doing, it's okay. Use what you have. So that's oil and so I forgot and used up my garlic with my meat seasoning, and that seasoning was just the chunks of pork, salt, pepper, and garlic, and about a tablespoon or so of soy sauce, maybe 2 tablespoons. Stir it in, let it marinate. I'm going to put a little garlic with this because I like the flavor of garlic. So, as those starting to cook and get tossed in the heat, we're going to add carrots. I like carrots, the color, and they go well. This is going to take a couple minutes to cook up, and not very long, because already what's on the bottom is starting to cook. Now, a lot of people might not think so, but as a filler and flavor, and I enjoy cooking with it, I like to add cabbage and bean sprouts. And you can see this bean sprouts has a little bit of carrot in it because it was actually a chop suey mix, but they were all out of bean sprouts, and I don't need to pick them out because I'm just using what I have. The bean sprouts are optional. You don't have to put them in. We'll put those in close to the very end because we don't want them to cook and go too wilty. The cabbage will cook in just a minute. You can see that the veggies are all starting to cook and commingle already. So, not quite. The carrots maybe a bit longer. I did parboil them. I did boil them for about a minute just to start softening them so they cook faster. That's a trick I learned a long time ago. But if you're outside cooking and you don't have a lot of time, slice them thin, put them in raw, put them in early so they can have a chance to cook and they cook down. Don't put them in if you don't want. It's okay. Now I'm going to add cabbage. I'm going to keep it on high because we're still moving everything around. While it's cooking. Cooking outdoors. Cook what you want. Cook however you want. It's fun because it is one pot and I'm using my butane stove. Okay, about where I like it. And we still got things to go. Put pineapple in it, make it healthy, sweet and sour. You can use fresh pineapple, that's okay. Put it in a little bit earlier so that it doesn't take too long. Because it'll take a little longer to get hot all the way through. The canned stuff, a little softer. They'll cook, and I'm not going to put the whole can in. I'm just going to put that in because you don't want to overwhelm the pineapple. Turn around again. Remember, I only put in a couple tablespoons of oil. So now, the pineapple's starting to heat up. Transfer the heat around to the pineapple. I'm going to add my pork back in. I might switch to the tongs just to help turn it and move it around. Speaking of a wok, the pork's already cooked. It's not been out of the heat very long. A few minutes. That was really good. Now, I'm going to add our glaze, our sauce, secret sweet and sour sauce. I'm not sure how much, so we're going to add almost all of it, but not all of it. Stir everything in, coming to the end. And now I'm going to add the bean sprouts because we're at the end. Bean sprouts. And to garnish some chopped up green onion. And that, my friends, is quick and easy sweet and sour pork done on the outdoor butane grill. Enjoy. Here. Smell it, oh smell it.